Welcome to another episode of Ship War, my review of the mid-season finale of the CW's Beauty and the Beast.
Shipper War. When ship happens, I'm there.
Now, I know that I said that Bridesmaids Up was a mid-season finale for Beauty and the Beast, but I was wrong about that. I assumed it was because it had a cliffhanger and then there was a long break, so I thought it was the mid-season finale. But apparently, Tough Love was the season finale of Beauty and the Beast, which really didn't leave with a cliffhanger. It just left with something happening, which was kind of a cliffhanger, but it left basically Beauty and the Beast fans very hot and bothered in a good way. So I'm going to be reviewing this, so if you don't want to be spoiled, I suggest you just stop watching this and go watch the episode and then come back. So, okay, for my review of Bridesmaid Up, I was freaking, over the moon, talking up Beauty and the Beast and how amazing it was, and it's been getting progressively better, and all that good stuff. Now, after the break, they had a 4-episode arc with a character called Alex, and for those who watched know who she was and what she did and what she meant to Vincent. So, here's my thoughts on this whole Alex arc and how I want to explain it with how I see it as. I want to say that Beauty and the Beast is this trip that we're all taking on a Greyhound bus, okay? We departed from the pilot and now we're on our trip. We're enjoying each other's company. We're enjoying the scenery outside the window. We're just enjoying ourselves on this trip, getting to the final destination, which is the season finale of season 1. But we're on this road trip, and we're in the middle of this trip, and then somebody decides to use the restroom and do a number 2. I want to say the Alex arc is that number 2 in that restroom right now, and the smell is horrendous. It starts off, light. You're like, okay, I'm not really liking this, but okay, I'll just deal with it. But then by the 4th episode, you're like, why did this even happen? I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this stench. And it gets to the point that's so bad that the bus driver has to pull over and people get off the bus and they don't want to continue on this trip that we're taking because they're just so put off by this number 2 that was taken in the bathroom, aka the Alex arc. Now, Tough Love, I want to say, is a big bottle of Febreze. Whatever that stench Alex was, that 4-episode arc that just completely turned a lot of us Beauty and the Beast fans off, audience members off, Tough Love was just a big bottle of Febreze that is helping remove that stench out of this ride, this trip that we're taking with this series. And I'm so happy because the whole Alex thing was just so annoying. It was very annoying, and I felt like this is a story arc, this is a storyline that should not be taking place in season 1 of a series that is a toss-up in the ratings. This is the type of storyline that upsets viewers, people who are watching, who are rooting for Vincent and Catherine, or who want to see other things in regards to Vincent that's not an ex-girlfriend or ex-fiance or whatever. This is just a storyline that shouldn't be done in season 1. That's how I felt, and I feel like a lot of people felt that way. So a lot of people were put off by it. And again, Tough Love is a stepping stone in fixing that. And it's sad that now there's going to be like a 3-week break before we see more of what we really want to see, rather than seeing stuff that we really did not want to see. So Tough Love, it was a pretty intense episode. It puts a lot of things in jeopardy for Vincent and Catherine, especially Catherine's relationship with her partner, her relationship with her sister, just Catherine and Vincent's relationship just being a relationship, and how at this point it's almost like it doesn't make sense for them to even be in a relationship, because their feelings for each other is almost blinding them to what it's going to end up creating for them when it comes to trouble later on. You're just better off being apart, but since they're so in love with each other and they keep coming back to each other like two magnets, they just can't leave each other. And this blind love that they have for each other, I think is going to be the thing that's going to bite them in the butt later on when it comes to so many things. It just seems like they're willing to give up a lot of their safety just to be with each other, and I feel like this is going to be a very dangerous thing for them. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays out, because it's obvious them being in a relationship with each other, which they're completely aware of, is such a bad thing for both of them. Because for Vincent, he needs to be in hiding. He shouldn't be out wandering around and talking to Catherine and showing up at Catherine's apartment, or showing at Catherine's, outside of Catherine's job, or showing up at a club. Like, all those things are just big no-nos for him. This is stuff that he's not been doing for the past 10 years. The past 10 years he's been cooped up in this warehouse hiding from everybody, but now he's off doing things that he shouldn't be doing because he's so in love with Catherine. And you have Catherine, who's doing all these things she shouldn't be doing as a cop by, defending Vincent and hiding things from people and destroying evidence and lying to her sister and lying to her partner and just doing all kinds of things that's going to not only mess up her career, but it's going to mess up her relationship with her sister and her best friend and just pretty much anybody around her. Everything's just going to crumble around her because of this relationship she has with Vincent, these feelings she has with Vincent. They're basically just doing all these things that are very dangerous for each other because they love each other. I was kind of rooting for them to break up. I was expecting them to agree to not to stop seeing each other for a while, but by the end of the episode, Vincent was already willing to be this is enough. What I'm doing, our relationship is really dangerous for your sister. Your sister got almost killed tonight because of me, and I shouldn't be here with you. And Catherine's no, we should be together. And then Vincent's so in love with her that he agrees with that, and they end up kissing. And yeah, that kiss was pretty hot, and I'm sure a lot of people were very happy that they finally kissed. And I feel like this kiss is a little too soon. I feel like there should be more of a build up to it, but I kind of see why it's happening the way it is, because I guess they want to give the fans what they want at the same time and still go on with the story, because they can always bring them apart again, because there's so many things going against them that they can always find ways to pull them back apart where they can't be together. And I guess, at least if this season doesn't go past a first season, at least the fans got what they wanted, which is a good thing. But if this season does progress to a second season, I'm sure they can find millions of other ways to break them apart where these two cannot be together. I mean, there's already reasons right now why they shouldn't be together that can really, ruin both of them, and yet they're still deciding to be together as a couple and progress this relationship that they have, these feelings that they have with each other, because they're madly in love with each other. As Vincent said, I am so in love with you, as they meet now and stuff like that. So yeah, Tough Love, again, is a Febreze of the Alex art. It is a big bottle of Febreze that the writers just took and just started pouring all over this episode because it smelled so wonderful, and it's what the series needs more of. No more ex-girlfriends, ex-boyfriends, ex-whatevers. No more of that. Need more stuff about Muirfield and how that's going to affect Vincent and Catherine and the manhunt that's now going to happen with Joe trying to get this creature, and Evan's whole obsession with the creature and trying to figure out the creature's connection with Catherine. All that stuff is what I want to see more of, and I'm sure a lot of Beauty and the Beast fans want to see more of that rather than, ex-boyfriends and girlfriends and whatever else that we just don't like when it comes close to anything remotely looking like a love triangle, because my God, love triangles are by far one of the worst things to see on a TV series, and I don't want to see any more of it on this series for a while. Please and thank you. So that is all for this episode of Ship of War. Goodbye, and until next time, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. It's a movie based off of a Nicholas Sparks book. In other words, if you haven't liked any other movie based off of a Nicholas Sparks book, you more than likely are not going to enjoy this film. It's basically the same premise in all his movies / books, at least when it comes to the main focus of what it is, and that is a love story. It's a love story about two characters, and it's always based in North Carolina, And then something tragic always happens. Basically, someone always dies in one of his books.